Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to intro my vlog of reading Wildcard by Elsie Silver. So this is the fourth and final book in her Rose Hill series, which I have done reviews for each and every single one of the books in that series, so I'll leave a playlist links for you. As filming this intro, the book has not come out yet. It will come out tomorrow. And I am hesitant because yes, Elsie Silver is one of my favorite authors, but this is an ex-boyfriend's dad romance, and that is notoriously one of my least favorite tropes. So we'll have to see if I'm gonna like this book with this trope, if Elsie Silver is the one who's writing it. I do have to say, from like the early reviews, it is done a bit differently than most of the ex-boyfriend's dad romances that I just don't really love. So before I get into it, feel free to skip, by the way, to the review. There's timestamps as always. The reason why I don't really love... Okay, so the ex-boyfriend's dad, while I can understand why it's such a beloved trope, I just have issues with it. First of all, and not in regards to the woman in the relationship, because I mean, good for you. Especially if your ex-boyfriend is a lying, cheating son of a bitch. Sorry. Then yes, okay, what better revenge is there than becoming your cheating ex-boyfriend's stepmom? I mean, if that is not peak revenge, then I don't know what is. The problem with this trope is I cannot really respect a man who would sleep with and get into a relationship with his son's ex-girlfriend. Like, I don't know. Like, out of all the women in the world, the billions and billions and billions of women in the world, you had to end up with your son's ex? Really? So that is usually why I don't tend to love this trope. I have enjoyed books with this trope before. Like, they have to do two distinct things. Either like the author just has to lean into the dad just being a shitty dad, then I can enjoy it. Like a peak example of that is Your Dad Will Do. Yes, the ex-boyfriend is a dick and we hate him, but the father, yes, he treats the FMC well, but like you cannot convince me that he is a good father in that book. He just isn't. He just doesn't give a fuck. And since it's a novella and it's like really hot, I don't really mind it. Or the father really has to work on his relationship with his son, really feel bad about what he's doing, or, you know, trying to get the son on board, then I can also like it. But now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever given an ex-boyfriend's dad romance 5 stars. So we'll have to see for this one. Without yapping any further, let's cue to the vlog. So I'm on page 141, chapter 15 of Wildcard. And let me tell you what this is about. So as I said in my intro, let me pull you a bit closer here, sorry. As I said in my intro, this is an ex-boyfriend's dad romance. But, okay, so it's a bit different than the ex-boyfriend's dad romances I've read. Basically, they meet first. So Sebastian, Bash, and Gwen meet each other at an airport where they are stuck at the airport because of this giant snowstorm. And both of them, you know, have to basically like stay overnight with a lot of other people until morning comes and they can catch their respective flights. He just had one of the worst weeks of his life. He just found out that this girl he used to date when he was 15 got pregnant 24 years ago and never told him. And now he just found out that he has a 24-year-old son and he just met him and he's still reeling from that. And the son has been raised by these rich stuck-up people. So the son is also not necessarily... I don't want to say that he's a bad guy because he doesn't read that way, but he has... It just wasn't a very good meeting. And Gwen is there. She's a glass half full kind of girl. So she makes it her mission to kind of have him have fun during that time. And they have this like magical night together. He asks for her number. She gives it to him. And then he texts her and she doesn't respond. A couple days later, he texts her again, still doesn't respond. He gives it one final shot. 2 weeks later, she doesn't respond, and he thinks, well, then apparently she ghosted me. She doesn't want to see me. They do know that there's an age gap. She's 27, he's 39. But, he figured, they had this great time together and they did click. So he just could not stop thinking about her, basically. 8 months later, he is invited to his son's birthday party. He shows up, and who should be there but this girl he met at the airport, Gwen. But now she's being introduced as his son's girlfriend. So they kind of have it out at like the bathroom in the party, where both of them accuse the other one of just never contacting them, never speaking to each other again. And they both realize, because he was so tired from staying up all night, he typed her phone number wrong. He was like one number off, basically. But of course, now they're in a predicament because at the time of this happening, she is his son's current girlfriend. So he knows like this is just impossible, because he does want to have a relationship with his son, who is a professional hockey player, by the way. So I do hope we'll get a book from the son's point of view, because my favorite Elsie Silver book so far is Powerless, which is a hockey romance. Anyway, moving on. I digress. So he kind of leaves a bit angry because he's so frustrated. And then like a couple months pass. He meets her in Rose Hill and she's there as the new yoga instructor. And he tries to avoid her, but Clyde, the troublemaker, if you've read the Rose Hill series, then you know all about Crazy Clyde, basically. He's trying to play matchmaker, so he decides to take a yoga class, which if you know anything about Clyde, then you know that is really not something like he would actively choose to do. But he's in kidney failure, and yoga does help him. He seems to feel better because of it, so he ends up doing yoga also because it helps him, but also in the back of his mind, he is still trying to set his friend up with her. Then Bash actually offers to see if he could be a match for Clyde to donate his kidney. He ends up being a match, so they get the organ transplant, but now Clyde needs to, he cannot live by himself up in the mountains while he's recovering. So he asks Gwen, he's still trying to play matchmaker. He asks Gwen if she'd be willing to stay at his place to take care of him. She agrees because she does need a new place to stay. And then this bombshell gets dropped that he's supposed to stay at Bash's place. So now this is also going to be a roommate to lovers. And I am just at that point, where I'm at now. She just arrived in Bash's house. And if you know anything about me, then you know that a roommates to lovers is one of my favorite ways to have forced proximity. It's one of my favorite tropes, really. I just love a roommates to lovers, or the characters are forced to live together for some time. So I know that it's only going to get better from here. I am really loving this book. I'm giggling and kicking my feet, and especially their meet cute, that whole first chapter of them in the airport, the first two chapters, I guess. That was just it read like a magical night, in my opinion. I thought she did such a fantastic job with both of them, but especially with her. I feel I fell in love with her at one point during the whole airport scene. I just loved everything that happened there. I definitely sometimes with books like this, because one book that comes to mind is what's that book called? Let me check. Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. That also was just a day these characters spent together, and I'm supposed to believe that because of that one day, they are the loves of each other's lives. That just, I don't know, something about it just wasn't believable to me. But I felt like Elsie, the way she wrote that one night, it was very believable why both of them could not stop thinking about the other one. I could 100% understand why 8 months later, both of them would be so frustrated of this one mistake. So I did definitely enjoy that. About the whole ex-boyfriend's dad thing, right now where I'm at, it really doesn't bother me for several reasons. One, her premise is a good one in a couple ways. One, I like the fact that they met each other first. But I mean, that happened, that also happened in Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. That was not one of my favorite books. But what makes this one different is that they met each other while while both of them were single. Also, what whoa, my voice just went there. What also makes this one different is that Bash and what Trip is his son's name, they don't really have a solid relationship. Like he didn't raise him at all. Which, yes, in like on the one hand, it would make it more of more of a forbidden thing in that you're really want to have a relationship with your son. Probably the thing you should not be doing is dating his ex-girlfriend. So I get it. Like in some ways, it makes it even harder. But then on the other hand, I don't know what is unforgivable for me in ex-boyfriend's dad's romances is if they don't fight it, which Bash is for sure fighting it, and also if. I don't know, I just feel like it's icky for somebody to raise his son and then end up with his son's ex. And also, if the dad saw his son and his girlfriend together, and all of that just didn't happen in this book. So let me actually read you a couple sentences, which will not spoil the book, but it's about him really struggling with it, which, like I said, it endears me to him, which is what I need in an ex-boyfriend's dad. Because like I said, I can get behind the girl. That is not my problem. It's the guy that has to convince me why I should root for this romance. So this is what he says. I fear if I soften up even a smidge, I'll cross a boundary I shouldn't. Take something that isn't mine. Irrevocably fuck up my relationship with the son I've always wanted. It doesn't matter that they aren't an item anymore. It would still be a betrayal. An incredibly unfatherly one at that. That, I just appreciated that. I just want that on page. The fact that it's unfatherly to want what he wants, and he acknowledges that. So in that case, I don't know, I'm kind of rooting for him. What I also really loved about this book, like Elsie Silver, she just proved once again that she's an incredible author, one of my favorites. What I really liked about this book is when they met each other at the birthday party, and you did it at my birthday party, okay? They right away, like it took about an hour before they actually had the conversation about why did you ghost me, basically, which covers the whole miscommunication aspect of it, because I have seen it done in other stories where one of them thinks the other one did something, and the other one thinks the first person did something, and then like in the third act they finally actually talk about what happened. I liked how in this book it was clear from the very beginning. I wanted to both of them confessed to the other one that they wanted to actually talk to each other, to have that date, and it just didn't happen because of like some dumb mistake one of them made, which was understandable. So I did love that aspect. I also like Sebastian Bash. I don't know, like obviously we've seen him around, we've seen him and Crazy Clyde around in the first 3 books, but I never really knew a whole lot about Bash. He wasn't as close as to the other guys. Like he was closer to Reese, but Reese was just like a newbie in town. We never really had like solid friendship moments between them. So Bash was kind of a mystery to me. And same with Clyde. Like Clyde was kind of like a caricature, but in this book, both of them really come alive. Like for Bash, I just felt so sorry for him. The way he just broke my heart, really. The fact that he really wanted to have kids and his ex told him that she didn't want them. And then to find out that she is now pregnant with her new husband's kids. Like, what the actual fuck? Also, the fact that he always wanted to have children, and then to find out that he had a son walking around for 24 years and he had no idea. So he was like 15, like I said. Like, it just breaks my heart for him so much how the son has somebody else's last name. Somebody else raised him, and even though he desperately wanted kids, he just didn't know that he had one. It's just, how fucking sad is that? But I do really like him as a character. Like, I am very much endeared to him. Gwen, I also am enjoying. There are hints of the fact that, and it is said in the beginning, that this has discussions related to body shaming, and it seems like that comes from a parent, and I have had similar experiences. So those things, I wouldn't say they are a trigger, but it just hits close to home for me. So I do tend to, if it's done well, obviously it just endears me very much to the character. But I also really like how she's just unapologetically herself. Like, she knows she loves yoga and she loves all that woo-woo stuff, and she's in this like town where nobody really is into those things, and the fact that she just, like, from the moment she met Bash, she was like, we're gonna meditate now. And I just love that about her. Like, I truly do. She seems like a fun character, and I really like her optimistic vibe. I think Bash definitely needs that. And I really love Clyde, and especially his relationship with Gwen. I love that. Like, he is like the conspiracy kooky, tinfoil hat wearing person. And like I said in the beginning, like in the first 3 books, like I just didn't take him seriously. He didn't feel like a real character to me, but in this book, he definitely does. Like, he shines. Like, he is a scene stealer. I love every single moment with him. I love how he's just trying to play matchmaker, how he just basically fucks Bash's life up a bit just so he can like move him to take some steps. I enjoy all of that. I like how like I said, I really like his relationship with Gwen, how they are forming this bond. And of course, I do enjoy him and Bash together. So yeah, I like all of that. I do. And I just cannot wait to continue reading this book. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. No, I think that's it. I am interested, especially to see like what will happen between Bash and, I forget his name, Trip. Aside from the fact that obviously, oh yeah, one thing I wanted to say about Gwen and Trip's relationship, which I also think is what helps me in still rooting for this ex-boyfriend's dad relationship, is that it seems like they never actually had a real relationship. Like, they slept together, so it's kind of weird that she would sleep with both the father and the son, obviously. But during the birthday party, before Sebastian gets introduced, Gwen is already thinking, why is he introducing me as his girlfriend? We're just fuck buddies. Why did he even invite me to this birthday party? So it seems like there was never like a solid relationship there. So in that case, it also doesn't bother me. Like with the other ex-boyfriends, dad romances, like some of these girls were engaged to the son, and like most of them were together for years. And like I said, like the father was actively like knew about the relationship. He was with them. Like they had interactions, all 3 of them. So then in that case, I just don't like that. Whereas in this case, I feel like, yeah, it just doesn't bother me that much. So I'm gonna continue reading and enjoying my time. Hopefully, like I know for sure, like I want to really finish this tomorrow because I want to upload it tomorrow. Yeah, I guess I'll talk to you then. So I just finished Wildcard, and you know, I didn't doubt her really, but you know, Elsie Silver has done it. This is my first 5-star for a ex-boyfriend's dad romance. I think, like as you could see from my first update, I was like on board with the whole premise of this ex-boyfriend's dad situation. And I really love this book. Like it might actually be my favorite, which I want to do a tier ranking for the Rose Hill series at the end of this video. So I'm still debating, like I literally finished it. Like I just finished it and immediately started filming. So maybe I should give it some time, but I really want to upload this video as soon as I can. I really loved it. Like everything I said in my first update still stands. And at one point I was worried because Trip, especially, he really started to annoy me, which obviously was the point. But I do like how Elsie handled that entire situation. And I still stand by the fact that I would love a book with Trip as an MMC. He's 24 in this book. So I would like a book that is set a bit in the future, see him a bit older and like see him mature and grow. We have seen that a bit in this book, but obviously this is not his book. It is Gwen and Bash's book. I really loved their relationship so much. I love how it was very slow burn, obviously, because like it took them a long time for, especially him, to admit that he does love her and that he is willing to fight for her. There's a 3rd act conflict in the way Elsie does it, so it's not a breakup. There was a too stupid to live situation, but I could forgive that because Gwen, like, I was really loving her very much. Like, I love both of them. I think Bash was so fucking sexy. Like, I could definitely understand why she was unwilling to let him go and why she was willing to put herself out there again and again to convince him that they would be good together. And obviously she turned out to be right. I love the fact that both of them like her especially, like she never had a really solid serious relationship, and this was her first, but she was kind of like skittish about it too, and he helped her with the little moments. Like for example, there's a scene where she really wants to take a nap, but she also wants to spend time with him, so he's like, well, why don't you take a nap while I watch a sports game? And the way she, like, even though that sounds normal and most people would be like on board right away, it kind of scared her a bit, and he kind of had to ease her way like into that. I like that. I like how they both struggled with the same root issues, the fact that they both feel like they're not good enough, that people constantly keep leaving them, but it manifests in a different way. Like for her, her insecurities around the way people treat her makes her want to leave and never settle, so people can never don't even have the opportunity to leave her because she's always leaving. Whereas for him, obviously, I talked about it in the first update, Elsie Silver proved once again, like she's one of my favorite authors. I really, really love her, and I cannot wait for her next series. The next series is gonna take place in Emerald Lake, and I think we're gonna follow Emmett, which we have seen in this book. Do I have any other thoughts? Yeah, there's also like an animal companion in here in a way. She has this interaction with a raccoon, which if you look at this cover really closely, I just realized this the other day. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little raccoon right here. I didn't realize. And then I looked at the other books to see if there was like a hint of an animal on there, but there really isn't. So this is the whole series side by side. And you can see that it makes up the mountain, which the mountain does play like a bigger part in this book. I liked how both of them were obsessed with the other one. I liked how he was a down bad hero. Like he would do anything for her. I loved how sweet he was, and I love how she explained the difference between being nice and being kind, and that he definitely is the guy who's kind. Like he's a grumpy guy with a giant heart, and I love that. Like and I like how that is consistent for his character, because he has been doing that not just with her but with Clyde, for example, and his other friends. So yeah, I really enjoyed both of them very much. And I am very much looking forward to rereading this series and paying more close attention to him, because I feel like before getting into his book, he was the character I knew the least about before getting into his book. So I'm very glad to have read a finished series by Elsie Silver. And this is the first time I read each and every book around the time it released. The only one I didn't read right away during the release was Wild Eyes, because I was slumping when this book came out. But yeah, I loved every single one of them. I gave all of them 5 stars, so let's rank them. Okay, so while filming this one, actually, I'm also filming a vlog of reading Elsie's first series, the Gold Rush Ranch series. And after reading that series, that means I will have read every single book she's written. So keep an eye out for that video. I think my plan was to post it on Sunday, but I don't think that's gonna happen because I don't read that fast. I still need to read 2 books. So I'm probably gonna upload it on Wednesday. And in that video, I'm gonna have the full tier ranking of every single Elsie Silver book. So in that video, you'll know for sure where I'm gonna place, especially my favorites in this series. But for now, after being fresh off finishing this one, this is my tier ranking. So my least favorite, and keep in mind, it's still a 5 star, is Wild Love. Just comparing it to the other ones, it's just my least favorite. Then after that is Wild Side. And this is just splitting hairs, guys. Like all of them, like I said, are 5 stars. Then I think, but like I said, this might be recency bias. Like it might actually be recency bias. So we'll have to see when I do my final tier ranking of all her books. But for now, in second place is Wild Eyes. This was one of my favorite books I read last year. I really, really love it. But I think my favorite has to be Wild Card. I just really, I loved a lot of things about it. I loved both characters equally. And I really loved the addition of Clyde in there. Like the way they had their little found family moment, how he was kind of like the grandpa in this situation. I just really, really fell in love with this book. So this, like I said, is my tier ranking. Once again, it might be recency bias. So I would urge you to watch my vlog coming out on Wednesday probably, to see me rank this series with the other 2 series she's written for my ultimate Elsie Silver tier ranking. And actually for me to love the purple book the most kind of fits because in the Chestnut Spring series, Powerless was my favorite book, which I know that is not the most popular opinion out there, but that obviously is also the purple book. So it kind of makes sense that I love this one the most. So yeah, those were my thoughts. If I have any other thoughts, I guess I'll talk about those in my recent reads. So that will be posted Sunday. So yeah, Sunday, my recent reads, and then Wednesday, me reading the Gold Rush Ranch series and doing my ultimate Elsie Silver tier ranking video. And if you're down there, leave me either a fire fighter emoji or a mountain emoji for like Rose Hill. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day and I'll talk to you later. Bye.